Good morning. It's Training Tuesday here at the Sparkle Factor headquarters. I am Suzanne Castle. I'm glad that you're here. We're going to spend less than 10 minutes for sure today because I'm going to share the one tool, just one, that will help you be a goal getter of a magnificent way. The one tool that I use, the one tool you need strategically to help you get from here to there, whatever that goal is, whether it be big or small, this one thing will really honestly help you. And I'm going to give it to you as soon as we're done here. It's going to be a downloadable for you. Who are you? I'm glad that you're here, whether you're live or replay. Let me know. Drop a little note in the chat below. I'm glad that you're here. All month long, we're focusing on goals, right? It's January. It's perfect time to be doing that. A lot of people, the first week of the year, they celebrate their word, right? I'm a big believer in that. Talked a little bit about that last week. I think you have to know who you are internally before you know how to do that out in the world. So if you haven't taken a hot minute and thought about who do I want to be this year? Like what lessons did I learn? And what do I want to leave behind? What am I carrying forward? Those are always kind of really big things. With my private clients yesterday, I talked about burning the ship, right? We want to burn the ship of last year. We want to take things off the ship that we need, but we want to burn everything else because we're starting fresh. And then you begin to kind of niggle a little bit about now, if I know I'm this, how does that look in the world? Like what do I want to do? And a lot of us have way too many things. Like we have 10 things on our list, and that's just not manageable. I really think you need one or two a quarter and that you focus on that. And to do that, though, to get to that space, I'm going to talk about the one tool that I think you need for a fabulous goal getting strategies. And you know what that is? Honestly, it's no more excuses. So today we're going to talk about the No More Excuses Roundup and what it is and how to actually use it. And I'm so excited that you're here to kind of dive in with me. This is really a tool that I use to get more done, and I find it extremely helpful. So what No More Excuses is, if you want to take some notes, and then I'm going to give you a tool so you can actually use it as a spreadsheet. So you want to find out before you're really kind of thinking through a lot. Think about how you're getting in your way. If you're not really sure how you're getting in your way, think about it from last year. How did you get in your own way? Maybe you made some excuses for not taking action. I'm too tired. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough resources. That could be education, financial, energy, whatever. I don't know how. Whatever those excuses are, they're excuses for not taking action. Some are valid, some we make up, right? And this one step takes a ton of courage and a ton of honesty to admit when we make excuses, right? Nobody wants to confront that. Even if you're not doing it publicly, sometimes even your own internal self doesn't want to get into that space. But you're never going to get to the next place you want to go unless you can honestly look at yourself. So we all do it, right? We all make excuses. And sometimes excuses can be a good thing, but it also can undermine our confidence in ourselves. So we don't want to live in that space. And honestly, when you're in that space, it can really undermine life. And you're not going to show up in your business. You're not going to show up in your life for those of people that you love and that you serve until you can confront this reality. I've said this often. I'll continue to say this. Awareness is the first step to change, right? Awareness is really power. So what we want to do is we want to begin to identify our excuses and then kind of understand why that is. And then we can commit to doing things differently, which once we commit, we can set some action steps to get after those outcomes and those goals that we've said we want. So how do you do this? Well, the first thing, of course, is you need to know your outcome. Like, what is your goal? What are you looking for? So you might want to do one, maybe you want to do 4 or 5, but whatever it is, you definitely want to just at least get that down, right? So what outcome do I want in the next 90 days? What outcome do I want by the end of February, 6 weeks from now? Right? What does that look like? Really get at that. If the word goal gets you paralyzed, think about outcome. Think about one aspect of your business or your life. Do you want to release some pounds? Do you want to eat more healthy? Do you want to walk up to so many miles a day? Like you want to be sure that it sounds doable, that it's feasible for sure, and not so big and giant. What's an outcome that you're looking for? Do you want more engagement on your social media? Do you want your analytics to go up? Do you want to sign a couple of clients? Okay, however it is, personal business, doesn't matter. You start by writing out the outcome or the goal that you want. And then you want to really think through 3, maybe 5 excuses that you make on a regular basis. Okay, how do you do this? Well, you put pen to paper. Honestly, you just begin to write. And this is a judgment-free zone, okay? Whatever pops up, you write it down. We will deal with it later. But the first thing you want to do is actually just get it down. My clients know I say this all the time. You have to start by writing here so then you can do something with it. You can't just leave it up here or in here, right? It's just going to swirl. It's going to keep you stuck. Stuck is not the furthest you can go. So we want to be sure and put it somewhere. So these might be things like I'm too busy. Talking about walking, it's too cold. I don't have is a good thing to start an excuse with. I was too tired to XYZ. So be thinking about if you're having to, like, I don't know what excuse I make, answer that. I'm too busy. What was I too much of or not enough of? What did I not have that I needed, etc. And that will get you at the excuses that you tend to make from time to time. All right, now for each excuse, what are you going to want to do? Well, that's pretty simple. The first thing you want to do is you want to answer some questions about your fear, right? Your underlying thought, maybe. So the way to do this, honestly, I'm about to teach about fear. We do Fear Week inside my group coaching program, and I've got them coming up right after this. And how do you want to do that? Well, I have to start with a big deep breath, right? I usually put my hand over my heart, remind myself I'm safe, that it's going to be okay, that working through my fear is the best way to move ahead. And in that space, then just kind of pause and notice what's popping up about my excuses. And then whatever it is, you're going to put it on the spreadsheet. I'm going to show you the spreadsheet in just a minute. You just write it down. So what's really going on? Whatever thought, whatever feeling comes to mind, it can be silly, it can be serious, but you just want to put it somewhere so you can do something about it. And the next question you want to ask yourself is, what's the impact of this excuse? Meaning, how are your excuses affecting you or maybe your life? Maybe they're affecting others in your work environment, at home, your friends, right? What opportunities have you missed? That's an impact kind of statement. So you really want to specifically understand why this excuse that you just put down, the thought, the fear, like how is that affecting you? How is that keeping you stuck? How is that keeping you from moving forward? What's the cost of that? And then the question we want to ask ourselves is, what can I do instead? Right? We want to put on our possibility goggles. You hear me say that often. And we want to think about the goal that you want to achieve and the why. Why? So one idea is to acknowledge your fears, your feelings. And then we want to commit to take a step towards our goal, no matter how small. It could be big, could be small. It doesn't matter. But so maybe ask yourselves things like, what would I say to myself instead? Or if my best friend said this to me, what advice would I give? How could I be more kind here to myself? What is one way, even though all these things exist, what's one thing I could do to move forward for my goal? One of the ideas I gave to some clients yesterday was I said, okay, you don't have to write the whole website by the end of the month, but maybe you research a website company. Maybe you research 3 or 5 websites that you like. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's not that you know how to write code, you have all the resources, you've already bought the domain. Okay, maybe the first thing is, let me get some examples of what I want. Okay, so you take one small step. What could you do instead of staying stuck? And the last question we want to ask ourselves is, then what are we going to do with this information? Right? Remember, this is the No Excuses Roundup. So what are you going to do? What will you do to address your excuse making? Right? With the knowledge that you have, now what are some steps that you can take to address your fear, your lack of resources, your motivation, your self-belief, whatever it is, you want to write that down and literally create some action steps. Get into motion mode, right? If you're stuck, you'll stay stuck. Make one small step, you'll start movement, right? It's the law, it's the law, right? Objects that stay in motion, stay in motion. Objects that stay stuck, stay stuck. They don't move, right? So we don't want to be there. So this is the way to kind of get it done and get it done quickly and get it out of your head. And it's honestly the one tool you need to really move forward with your goals. So let's see if I can show you an example really quick. And I'd love for you to download it. Let me, I'm putting that in the chat right now. It's a free download. It's from my Google Drive. If it doesn't show up, I will definitely make that happen too. But what we want to do is we definitely want to be able to make sure that we are thinking all of this through. Okay. So you'll want to jump in, grab that download, start leaving your excuses behind, Because remember, your excuses will keep you from creating a goal and going after an outcome. So the one tool you need for goal getting is a no more excuses tool. And that's what, check the chat right now. I've put the link in there. That is how you get moving forward. Okay. That's what I have for you today on this Training Tuesday. Remember, I'm here live every Tuesday. And you can catch the replay whenever on my YouTube channel or whatever social channel you're watching right now. I'm glad that you're here. My name is Suzanne Castle. I'll see you next Tuesday.